rightly thought otherwise, and so St Helens' lead is maintained. They begin this second half with the sun in their faces, with a 4-point advantage. 10-6, Wellens restarts. Fascinating 40 minutes lying ahead. And that was a wicked bounce, and it allowed St Helens the time and the opportunity to close the man down as he picked up the ball from the kickoff. Great chase from Saints.
Certainly was. It turned out to be a very, very good one indeed, and I'm sure that Daniel Anderson would have said to the Saints players, come on, keep it tight. He got through some good hard work in the forwards. Maybe that's one thing that Leeds have to turn around a bit. Maybe a little bit more running from the dummy half position from Matt Diskin. He's not really testing the St Helens first and second markers. They need a little bit more forward play.
St Helens ahead. They beat Hull Kingston Rovers 52-10, Bradford 58-20 in the last 2 weeks. But here come Leeds in the shape of Maguire.
He's in top form, he's having a fine game.
Burrow goes wide to find Keith Senior. Senior comes back on the inside, but is halted by Gilmore. Last tackle here, says referee Steve Ganson. And Maguire hoists the kick out wide, looking for Lee Smith. And the referee penalises Lee Smith for tackling Melly in the air once again.
Well, he missed the first one early in the kick-off, and can you imagine being a winger having to look into that? You can see he closed his eyes.
I don't think he tackled him now. I think he was competing for the ball. I think that's a payback for the one he missed in the first half.
Well, it certainly looked like it, didn't it? If anything, the conditions with the sun has gone worse as the evening's gone on. As the sun's lowered, that's directly now into the eyes of the St Helens left winger.
This was the first half.
Yeah, this is the one there.
That should have been a penalty.
And then
no
penalty. He just said play the ball. Okay, squared up.
Either way, it was a fantastic response for Leeds to start the second half. Very strong carries from the forwards, hitting the line, making the breaks, offloading the ball, and making, 85 metres in the 5 tackles to put that kick into the corner. Showed that they know they need to lift their aggressive levels.
Here's Leon Price, funnels it wide and finds Gilmore. Leeds have the best defence in Super League, just 39 tries conceded before today, and they now have conceded another penalty. That's the second in quick succession at the start of this second half. Well, Brian McLennan won't be happy with this.
Throughout this game, it's been very, very slow, and it was definitely a steal from Gilmore. Gilmore perhaps didn't get too much pressure to hold on to it, but little doubt, right in front of Mr. Ganson, who I must say, he's having a cracking game.
Here's Clough, because St Helens are deep in Leeds territory here. That was a great penalty, and look where they are. That's the Leeds try line that Keith Senior and company are defending. This is Roby, and here is Long. Now it's with Price. He finds Wilkin, and the ball goes to ground off the legs of Talau, and Talau rolls himself over the touchline and into touch.
That should be head and feed to Leeds.
Oh, he's given head and feed to St Helens for the knock-on against Lee Smith, I think.
Wow, this is a big call. Yep, he got a fingertip to it. Well, that's a good combination with Ganson and the touch judge. He's perhaps the only person on the ground that will know for sure. Even more pressure. Does he touch it? Yes, he does.
So head and feed at the scrum to St Helens, and this is John Wilkin from the base of that scrum. St Helens looking here to increase the lead and up the ante right at the start of the second half. Roby to Price to Long. Long comes back this way.
Now, we haven't seen Leon Price take on the defence at all. He's been quite happy, just taking a step and offloading the football.
Roby.
Will he come to the fore now?
There's Long. Back it comes to Leon Price. Gives it to Paul Wellens. There's a space out here wide. Melly is in for St Helens. Francis Melly. Maguire is furious. The try is given. Daniel Anderson, his 200th match in charge as a first-grade coach. And that is a perhaps killer blow at the start of this second half for the Saints. Francis Melly waited a wee while for this try. He hasn't scored in the last 5. What an important 4-pointer this might be.
And what an important touch by Lee Smith, if you're a St Helens player and a Saints fan. They got the possession from the scrum, they got the position. It looked as though Price was going to throw the dummy. And you've got to point the finger at Lee Smith there. He was very late to decide to go out wide. You could see he should have gone out wide. He should have allowed Gareth Ellis to just cover across for the inside dummy. He's a big fella, this fella. Wonderful unit, Melly. And that is a crucial try. Just got caught in two-man's land, Lee Smith.
Two-man's land or no man's land or two minds? Which was it, Steve?
It doesn't matter.
All
Work
three.
it out yourself. The try's been given. You're having a shot at me again,
No,
eh?
and Longy enough to try and add the extras.
Well, he missed an easy one.
Oh, I bet he kicks this then. Just a metre in from touch on this near side. And this time he hasn't managed to find the mark. So the gap is just 8 points. It's gettable for Daniel Anderson's men.
Well, they done right, leads off. That is for sure. They'll be kicking right into that right-hand corner as they are attacking.
But it goes up into the sunshine. Wellens is underneath it. Nowhere forward for Sam Thompson. Scrutining hard on Hargreaves. Roby and Wellens to Price. Price is watched by senior Sinfield and Jamie Jones Buchanan.
They really do need an aggressive set this in defence now. The Leeds Rhinos send that signal out. They can get themselves back into the game. They've controlled St Helens so far in the early plays, and they've got to get some pressure on the kicker.
Well, there's the last tackle. The kick would be coming up from Sean Long, you would assume, and it's with Long, and he's inside the 40. He's gone for it deep. There's no chance of a 40-20. Lee Smith is underneath that.
And that's a good return. Very good return indeed. Remember, it was Smith that came up with the error, the knock-on that allowed Saints the opportunity to put Mellion into the corner. Of the two sides, though, I think that Saints are just looking a little bit more balanced. They're sharing the workload, but this is the big guy that could set them sailing.
Great ball from Peacock to Webb. He's away from Wellens. He can't get away from Gidley. They want a quick play the ball, Leeds. Smith to Burrow. They have a man out wide on the overlap. Senior, though, great sliding defence from St Helens. Senior gets to his feet, plays it to Burrow. Burrow then to Sinfield. Sinfield flat to Diskin.
Great tackle there by Roby, right round the ankles of the big fella.
Last tackle here for Leeds. It's with Maguire. Maguire, great defence. Fantastic defence from St Helens there. And Maguire did not hear the call, I don't think.
Well, that's amazing. I know it's a big crowd in here, and they're making quite a lot of noise. There's a bloke on the drum. I'd love to go down the steps and just throw it over the stands, but just doesn't stop. It doesn't help the players. And you see there, the Peacock said, what?
Gardner is enveloped by Jamie Jones. You can hear a drum, can you? Roby.
Are you deaf?
Hello? Great work from Roby. Oh, but was there a push there on Jamie Jones Buchanan off the ball? And there's another by Sean Long. Oh, Saints have got the penalty.
Well, Sinfield is running to the official and saying, hang on.
Okay, mate. No, the tackle was, he was assisting with the tackle.
Well, Steve Ganson has made his decision, and no matter what, Sinfield says he won't change it, but that looked like a penalty to me when Long pushed Jamie Jones Buchanan away. Well, that's not allowed, is it?
No. And they're very fortunate, red and whites. The row of the green has gone towards them, and at 14-6, an 8-point lead is a huge advantage when you're getting close to the final hooter, but not on 49 minutes.
Saints have had 7 penalties, Leeds just the 4. Roby to Long. Here's Gilmore, hit that at pace, saw a little gap. Leeds close it down.
Again, it's good work by the Saints. Their build-up is strong. They're not panicking. They're quite happy to just control things out there.
Price, dummy one way, comes back inside. Yes, they look in control at the moment, St Helens. Roby will have a scamper away. Oh, Jamie Jones-Buchanan, that's a gift.
He took a huge gamble because Graham was skirting underneath the sticks. If he could have got it. The South Standers are doing their normal, trying to impress the official. Good stuff, Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Good job he wasn't Lee Smith. He'd have been away the full length of the field.
Gareth Ellis. Well, all these St Helens players are all offside. They're all offside. Maguire comes inside. Will he allow? Good ambush by Leon Price. Last tackle.
They're screaming for the penalty, but he's played the advantage. And to be fair, they've had a good advantage.
Great kick, high kick from Burrow, but Melly's underneath it. Burrow following up.
That was a difficult kick to take. Francis Melly was solid as a rock. He had to be. And so's this Leeds defence at the moment. They put him under so much pressure, but he's come up trumps.
This is Clough. Leeds trying to be aggressive within the rules, trying to get this ball back.
I'm just wondering
from Roby.
I'm just wondering when Leeds do get the ball back, when Brian McLennan, their coach, will say to Rob Burrow, listen, go into the dummy half position. We need a little bit of spark there. It's not coming from Matt Diskin at the moment. They've got to come up with something different.
The middle of the field is where Leeds are making that go forward. Wins in collision, quick play the ball, then they're all pushing up right on that middle line.
The kick from long doesn't find touch, it only finds Brent Webb. But the chase is good, led by Gidley. Webb went to ground there because he could see the touchline just outside him. Had a fear he was on his way. Well, the crowd are on the back of the referee. They want him to give offside, but he won't. Not unless it is offside in his view. This is Sinfield.
What perhaps a lot of the crowd do not understand is that when they make that shout, St Helens become aware in the defence and they say, we will get back the 10.
Ellis tackled by Wilkin. Here is Burrow. They go wide to Senior. There's a little bit of space for Senior. And he's away from one tackle. That was Longs. He gives it then to Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Offside. No, it came off the Leeds man.
Well, that's got to be a penalty. That's silly play. What on earth has gone through the mind of Jamie Jones-Buchanan? Well, he may laugh. I'm not so sure Brian McLennan, his boss, will have a little bit of a snigger over this.
I wonder if that came off Graham. He's not tackled, and he's still not tackled, but his legs are up in the air. That's the trouble, and that isn't allowed with the legs in the air.
Well, the referee actually said the tackle was complete, Eddie.
Yeah.
It's done now. The moment he touched him then, ball arm on the floor, it was all over.
The trend that's repeating itself from last week, Eddie. St Helens were awarded 19 penalties to Bradford's 5 last week. He started to creep that way again.
8-4 at the moment. Brian McLennan can't believe that one was just given, but when he looks at the video later, he will see that it was right. Cunningham has a scoop from dummy half. Ooh!
That is stupid yet again. What on earth is going through this Leeds outfit?
Have a look at that,
Scruton.
The referee's blowing his whistle, trying to calm the situation down. I think on the plus side, Cunningham is not so badly hurt, but it could have been so different. That will have shaken him up.
Here over there. Take him that way.
We could do without that in
Can you
our
take
game.
your team? Take your team
Well,
that
Tell
way.
you what,
I know that they
South is
get
not shy of
frustrated.
producing red cards.
Well, Scruton, that's so dangerous.
What have we got, lads?
That
Yeah.
is shocking.
He's gone for a report, Steve Ganson, from his touch judge.
Nick Scruton, okay? You got Nick Scruton in on the tackle. Okay, mate. And he's lifted him and dropped him on his head. Nick Scruton. Yeah.
I think he's just checking that he's read it right. He's gone to the back pocket. Scruton's off.
Mate, you're up.
Scruton is off. Well, he sent one last week for back chat, and he sends one this week for a dangerous throw.
I'm saying fair play to the official Steve Ganson. He's had the guts, because it was a dangerous incident. Very dangerous indeed.
Hard to argue that that is not a deliberate lift.
Shocking play.
So Leeds down to 12 men for the remainder of this match. Scruton sent off by Steve Ganson, rightly, and Cunningham to Long, to Price, and here is Gidley, brushes Donald out the way twice, ball back inside to Gardner. St Helens now looking to put this game well and truly to bed.
Amazing, you know, Matt Gidley. He must put glue on his hands.
Here's Long. Long to Wellens. Wellens to Tallow. Tallow to Melly. Second try for Francis Melly. Francis Melly with the second try, and the St Helens supporters dancing on the terraces, because it looks as though St Helens are going to be just 2 points away from Leeds at the top of the table tonight. The champions down to 12 men, and Francis Melly with his second try of this second half, and St Helens taking a grip on this game.
Only seconds after Scruton has been dismissed from the field of play. The red card was showing. It was glistening in the sun, and before a shadow came over this game, Melly, it was a beautiful piece of play, a dummy run back on the inside. Tallow says get over into the corner. The basic principle of 13 playing 12 is to create the overlap, which should come with ease, and it did. It had to be finished, touch and go. Surprising the official didn't go to the screen.
Tries given to Francis Melly, and Sean Long, who has had an attempt from this touchline, missed, will now have another go. The game could have turned in the space of the last 90 seconds or so, and the race for the league leaders' shield might have turned on its head as well. Leeds so far in front for so long, and St Helens now, well, they know if they win this, they are within 2 of the league leaders. And more importantly for Daniel Anderson, he's looking over his shoulder and wondering about the Catalan Dragons, who are closing fast on him in 3rd place. Long with this conversion, not the best.
Well, if it had been on form, this game would have been well and truly over.
Leeds have to score 3 times. Long off cue with the boot, but St Helens, even before the sending off, they looked in total control of this match.
They were not panicking, they were not rushing, they were doing everything right, they were sharing the workload amongst the forwards, and they weren't going wide too early.
James Graham charges down this near touchline. I think every coach in Super League get a fantastic kickoff, well dealt with by those 2 in goal. We're recognising just how many tries Leeds are scoring on their right side recently. Now, it's a worrying trend. It's taken Keith Senior years to develop the expertise and the vocabulary and positioning to cover his side of the field, but Leeds need a right-sided defender to control this side.
Here comes St Helens again. They have the sniff of something here.
And if they can get a quick play of the ball here, they're in all sorts of trouble as the Rhinos.
And the space, of course, because they're playing with the 1 man down, Leeds.
But again, Leeds, look at that. They know they've got to try to get possession from him, but with this guy in charge, they're not doing anything stupid, Saints. Control it, keep him there. This will be a kick into the corner, surely.
Cunningham finds Leon Price. Price just dabs it on the inside, and Jordan Tansey picks it up. Webb gives the ball to Lee Smith. Bumps off Long, gets away from Wilkin. Can't get past Graham.
Good work from the winger there. They just need something to lift them. A clean break, that could help matters.
Burrow And Jamie Jones, Buchanan.
Jordan Tansey now take the responsibility of the half-back position, but I still think that the key factor is Rob Barrow to get in there. Kick to the corner, surely.
No, a dab over the top by Maguire, but that's perfectly read by Wellens, and he springs from defence to attack.
That's amazing. Oh, you put a pound in there and it's just like being on the pinball machine when this guy gets a football.
Here is Roby.
Look at the Saints players. Just take it steady. Have a good rest. Who's going to take it next? The control has been fantastic.
Sean Long just sits at the back of the ruck and directs and dictates. He knows where the next play is going to go, and Saints have been better with the width play all night. They'll get to a position just on around that 20-metre mark, width of the field, and they'll put 7, 8 and even 9 bodies on the long shift, and that's too much for Leeds when they've got 13 on the field.
And they have 12 on the field now, and here is Cunningham. And there's a short ball to Gilmore. And that's a high shot on Gilmore from Senior. It's another penalty.
Now then, Long has not been in good form with the boot. A little bit of a word. It was pretty high.
It's round the head, mate. You've got to not get it round the head, okay? There's nothing I can do about that.
High shot.
I think they might tap this because Sean Long is... and they're doing that.
Here is Long. Now it's with Leon Price. This is Wellens trying to go inside Ellis. Price again. Pops it up to Tallow. Tallow on to Wilkin. Leeds having to do a ton of defending. Cunningham. Long, big space out wide. On the bounce to Gardner, but not the kindest bounce. And Gardner, though. And the St Helens crowd appealing for another high tackle against Keith Senior. Cunningham. Oh, brilliant. Finds Long. And Long has got the ball down, I think. Referee hands this one upstairs to Ashley Klein. Has Sean Long scored the try here? Because if he has, it's the 150th of his St Helens career, and he hasn't never scored here in 8 years.
No, it's been grounded.
He's still
by
not scored in
Sinfield.
8 years.
Sinfield has got the ball one-on-one, and he grounds it in goal. This will be the dropout. What an effort there by Kevin Sinfield. It's quite clear. No try. I'm not the man to decide. It's Ashley Klein. Well, it was quite clear, to me anyway. One-on-one, it's a steal, and he's grounded dead in goal. Yeah.
Is it a steal or has Long lost it? Either way.
It's a steal.
I suppose if they're just now deciding how to restart the match. If it is a knock-on by Long, Steve-O, it changes the decision, obviously.
Yeah, but I think it's...
Has he lost it, you see?
Well, to me, it looks as though the right arm of Sinfield has dragged the ball. 50-50 call. Either way, the one thing that we do know...
Well, one thing you think. I wonder if there's any view on our right-hand side here.
I'm just wondering whether anyone's checked whether Kevin Sinfield was front foot onside on the try line.
Well, they've forgotten about that now, Paul. It's as though that new rule never existed. I think you'll find there'll be a dropout.
Well, interesting that he's taken so long and he still hasn't made his mind up by the looks of things.
I think it should be a goal line dropout, Eddie. You asked me for my opinion.
Yeah.
I think Kevin Sinfield is the most intelligent player probably on this field, and he intentionally strips that ball and then grounds it in goal.
Let's see what Ashley Klein says. All holding our breath. And it is a goal line dropout. Read it right, gentlemen.
One-on-one, stay on ground.
Well done, Clarkie. We've got one right for a change.
We had long enough to take an opinion, didn't we?
Brian McLennan breathes a little sigh of relief.
But it does indicate to me, the quickness of the brain from Kevin Sinfield. He is a tremendous player.
Yeah, the video referee, Steve, I'm told, made his mind up it was no try very early in the piece there, but it was just the way that we restart the game, because it would have been vitally different had he ruled the knock-on by Long.
Well, Leeds are desperate for the football. They need possession.
And we can't get hold of it just yet, and here is Graham.
They won't get it off this kid.
2.
They'll just trundle up.
Hold.
We mentioned earlier that Tony Smith's in the stand tonight, the England coach. 14 players on this field this evening took part in the Test series against New Zealand last autumn. Wilkin to Talau. He's a danger, this fellow. Such a danger. Good tackle by Ablett. There is the England coach, watching as Cunningham has a scoot. This is Hargreaves. I wonder if Hargreaves is playing his way into international recognition here. Cunningham, Wilkin, Price, knocked down by Maguire. Another set of 6 coming up for Leeds to defend.
He had to do it. There was 3-on-1 there. Maguire knew that any chance, any hope, he had to get himself in that position. Roby would have skirted over quite easily, and he knows it.
Wonder if it's just delaying the inevitable.
Still plenty of time.
Now the fractions that a game can change on. That great strip from Kevin Sinfield, and then just a touch from Danny Maguire. He would have gone full length. No one would have caught him in that position.
Problem for Wilkin, he's limping into the scrum. He looked at the official and said, any chance you can stop it? We don't stop in our game.
Here's Leon Price. Leon Price taking them on, and over the shoulders he went down. Held on to the ball, but St Helens now 5 metres away. This is Gilmore. They're suddenly 2 metres away. They're suddenly 1 metre away. The danger bells are ringing for Leeds. With Long. Over the top he finds Talau. Oh, Lee Smith stood off him. They're back
Come
under
on,
the post.
Kieran, give us one of your specials.
There he is. Turned over on his back, and the ball was lost.
Again, resolute defence there by Leeds. The Rhinos are digging in. He tried to get it down and lost possession. That is a knock-on. Wonderful position there by Steve Ganson.
That was a survival set for Leeds. 12 points they can cope with. If that stretches to 18, being a man down already, they won't come back. And I think that the experience of players like Senior here now has to stand up, take this side forward. Peacock as well.
This is Peacock. Interesting. Leeds get a penalty to relieve the pressure. Interesting, Steve-O, you said for the second week in a row. Come on, Kieran, give us one of your specials. We had a few emails about that to Boots and all this week. People have accused you of being a Rhinos fan in the past, have accused you of being a Bradford Bulls fan on numerous occasions. Now you're a St Helens fan, allegedly. And by the way, so am I.
Well, take no notice of that. Listen, I admire great players, and there's plenty out there tonight.
Here. Sinfield.
I don't care what colour jersey they wear.
Agree with you 100%. This is Peacock.
They're not out of this, Rhinos, and they know it.
Diskin needs to score. Sinfield. Burrow. Oh!
Desperation there.
Diskin.
Hargreaves got there in time.
They're in. Donald. Scott Donald. Well, he goes level with Eddie Gardner at the top of the Super League try-scoring charts. But of more significance, it's the first of the 3 scores that Leeds have got to get to wrest this game away from St Helens. A remarkable run for this fellow over the past 3 seasons. 87 games ago, he's not missed a minute, he's not even missed a second, and here's his 18th try of 2008.
They took a complete opportunity. Sean Long, for some unknown reason, has gone completely crackers and got out of the one line of defence. You've got such a wonderful lead. Why on earth do you want to do that? All he had to do was man on man. Not that this guy is turning it down and said, thank you very much, Sean. We're back in this game. Daniel Anderson will be getting the message out. Sean, stay in line.
We've all had time this week to select what we would pick if it was our England Test side for next week against France, and I put Keith Senior in the left centre, and I think in the last minute I've been proven right. He took the ball to start the set to get his side going near his own line, and then his hands to provide that pass for the wingman were just world class.
And that is a world class kick from Kevin Sinfield, and the gap is down to 6.
And how important is it that Sean Long's kicking boots have not been there? one, it was a shocker. It was an easy one, should have got it. A little bit more difficult on number 2, but not what you call out of the top drawer. And this one, shocker. Boy.
So, 3 misses from Sean Long, but Leeds now back within 6 points. And suddenly, the 12 men have belief.
Well, that penalty early on in the game. Leeds in front of the St Helens sticks, spurned the chance to take the 2 points. Could that come back and get them?
Coach killers, Paul. Down to Bill.
Just saw Maury Fassavalu back in the action. He picked up an ankle injury when he was tackled earlier on in the game, and they've been working on him very hard on the sidelines. He's back out there, and just a great sense of urgency now around Leeds and around the supporters right alongside me. And among this Leeds side, by the look of things,
Burrow to Senior, and Senior still is tackled by Cunningham on the last. Jamie Jones-Buchanan, Rob Burrow,
Kick into the
Dylan
corner.
Maguire. The kick goes to the corner, looking
What a take.
Looking
by Francis
for
Melly.
Smith, looking also for Ablett. Ablett is hurt, and Melly, as you say, took it brilliantly, and he is Wellens.
Leon Price took a massive sigh of relief when they went to the kick then. He's been limping for the last 3 or 4 minutes. If they'd have run it to the right, there's a real chance he could have gone through that gap.
He's had a cracking game though, hasn't he, Francis Melly?
Oh, he has.
2 tries and everything that they've virtually thrown at him. He's stood up to the plate, big time.
Owen Ablett was hurt in that as he contested that high ball. The sign's gone out that he's finished for the time being.
And again,
If Leeds got a man on to replace him, they just have. Luke Burgess comes on. For a moment there, Leeds down to 11.
took a while, didn't it?
The official wouldn't let him on the side, Eddie.
Long's kick straight into the arms of Brent Webb. Suddenly there's a touch of belief about Leeds. And here goes Lee Smith. Straight into a brick wall is Francis Melly.
Lee Smith is hurt.
Webb, Burgess.
Well, they talk about Sam Thompson, the substitute for Saints, being a bricklayer. He built one there in Francis Melly.
Burrow, wide to Jamie Jones. Jamie Jones back on the inside. Desperate defence from St Helens. Gidley and Graham.
This is game on.
Webb
Oh, it's a shocker.
finds Sinfield. Sinfield gets the ball away, and it's gobbled up. Gobbled up by Maury Fassavalu, and here comes Sculthorpe.
Scully was surprised at that offload there. Fassavalu, and he said, oh, I've got to start running. But safety first. The Saints players, you can throw a satellite dish on nearly all of them. They know exactly what they've got to do. Just take it nice and steady downfield.
Let's go down to Bill.
it's all happening down here. Bodies all over the place. Carl Ablett helped around the side of the pitch. Lee Gilmore flat out a moment ago. He's just been helped off. And I think Paul Clough has gone back in his place. The 12 men of Leeds have suddenly found renewed strength.
This is Roby. Jamie Jones-Buchanan, Luke Burgess with the tackle. Last one here.
1 point, is it?
No, Long will nip it up into the air, looking for Price, looking for Price. The ball was stolen out of the hands of Keith Senior. Wellens was there as well.
He wants to see if they're onside. And maybe did he take anybody out? But he looked to me as though he's looking for the football. What a tremendous kick. There was no one at home. Brent Webb had come up in the straight line. Sean Long has seen this. Anybody there? Sean says no. He's onside. He is definitely onside. Now then, let's see. Any interference? No. Senior and Webb got in each other's way. That is try time. What a wonderful fight back by Leeds on Donald, but I think this will be TRY.
And the try to Leon Price. He goes to number 11. He got a try against Leeds in the playoff last year that took the Saints to Old Trafford. And a try in each of his last 4 in Super League. So Leon Price just might have cemented this victory for St Helens.
Well, it's been a seesaw game, hasn't it? Look at the wonderful break by Lee Smith. It looked as though they were getting on then, and then he just hits the brick wall. Bang! Oh, he's injured there. He said it was high. He's not happy, Brian McLennan. That's how tension gets to you. Look at the colour on his face. But watch Sean Long. He was a zero a few moments ago when he went out of the defensive line. Now as a hero, has they paid the price? He's a man that's got it. He's worth his weight in gold. Silver, platinum, it doesn't matter.
And Long, well, from bang in front, he doesn't miss those. And the gap's up to 12 points again. Leon Price's try, Sean Long's conversion, 24-12, St Helens lead. And Sinfield goes short again. Long read the script. Injury news on the try scorer, Leon Price, Bill.
Struggling for probably about half an hour in this game, if not longer. He picked up a bang on his knee very early in the game, was limping for a while, seemed to have run it off. He's obviously suffered a recurrence of it, and in actual fact Leon Price is now hobbling to the sidelines. Now Wilkin will replace him, so to my mind, Leon Price has done a heroic effort for the Saints side tonight, because he's played with that bang, and in fact, as he walks past me, you can see his left knee has ballooned, so he really has battled through for them tonight.
10 minutes to go, 12 points the difference. Cunningham to Clough.
You know, composure is a wonderful word, but it's a positive that any
a drop goal
good
from
side,
Long misses.
Just saying, Eddie, if you've got that positive action, I'm not so sure that was needed from so far out. He just hasn't got the boots on today, has he?
Well, that would have put them the extra point, Steve-O. Oh, and Sinfield has gone for the
intelligent play. They get the ball back.
What a brilliant kick.
Smart play.
Unbelievable. You know, he did this against Harlequins and won them the game in the Challenge Cup.
That's the difference. It's
he did exactly the same thing down in London when the Rhinos were on the ropes, and that is a frustrated coach. Why did you not think? That's what he's saying to his wingers. We talk about the brains going through some of these players' heads, and I must say that Kevin Sinfield has come up trumps yet again. Absolutely wonderful.
Here is Webb, and Sinfield there using his brain, because that is an optional kick. They can tap restart or they can go long, and this year if they go long and find touch, it's as good as a 40-20, because they get head and feed from the resulting scrum.
Saints were a little bit bitter because they did it in the grand final, but last season it didn't count.
It was outlawed, correct. Here is Webb. This is Ellis.
Still plenty of time. Don't leave.
Maguire's passed straight into the breadbasket of one Paul Sculthorpe. I was just about to say, you know, that Leeds haven't given this up.
Well, there's still time. Saints have to lose possession, but again, look at the guy bending down. His name is Cunningham, and he has just strolled through, shouting to his players, take it steady. You're next. Who wants it next? Thank you.
Clough it is.
Yep. Go down. Kieran walks to it. That's fine. Clock's ticking away.
Cunningham again. Here is James Graham.
Do you know that he's going to give it?
Yes, Fasselu ran on the dummy run, and he is deemed to have obstructed the Leeds defenders.
Just when you don't need it. All he had to do was take the ball up. That's what he's paid for, Graham.
Here's the restart again, Steve-O, and
yeah, as I say,
he's thinking all the time.
Look at that. And that's the reason why. Oh, they've lost it.
So Leeds did not, in that term, they did not find touch.
That's a shocker.
From the penalty. Clough. Burgesson disking with the tackle.
Jordan, hold.
Quick thinking, though, from Sinfield on one occasion, and then they don't find touch with the penalty. Look at this fella. Fasselu.
Super sub. He knows it as well. Look at this fella with the ball.
Cunningham.
Oh. Graham will just mop it up.
And Kieran Cunningham asking for the tackle count to be wiped clean, but referee Steve Ganson says it continues. This is the 5th tackle now. Last one for St Helens.
1 point.
You're unbelievable.
Well, he went for it.
Oh, it's a great kick, it's a great kick. Oh! What a collision then for Webb. He went straight into the post, but he got the ball dead.
Is this brave or what? Look at that. No fear. No fear whatsoever from this man and James Roby. Wellens is well back.
2 great full-backs we're watching today, aren't we?
Yep. Some great players.
Here's Gardner. Now Fasavalou. Burgess missed him. Oh! What a pass! Gardner! Gets there! Double movement, says the referee. Oh, I'm not so sure about this.
Boy, this is a big call, isn't it? Is the momentum.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Ball carrying arm is in the deck. Momentum and stop with his feet.
Good call from Steve Ganson.
And look at the position. Boy, if this carries on, I'll be sending him a Christmas card.
Yes, if he hadn't moved the arm forward, momentum, taking him home, it would have been okay. Lee Smith.
Bit of a throttle tackle there, and they've got away with it.
There's a couple of things gone out of the game, hasn't there, lately? The grapple tackle seems to have disappeared, and also front foot, as you say, behind the goal line and behind the referee. Here's Bailey.
Well, it's at that point now where they've just got to test it. Little chips over the top.
Burrow loses the ball in the ferocity of the challenge from Cunningham. Great tackle from Kieran Cunningham. Here's Sculthorpe.
When you need someone to just settle things down and do the right things, big tackle.
Both sides have made 12 changes, by the way, so what we have out there now, that's how we'll finish. And don't forget, Leeds are down to 12 men with Nick Scruton sent off. Here is Clough. Cunningham will go in at dummy half again. We'll find James Graham. He's had that bandage on and off his head all night, and it's a high shot. It's another bump on the top of James Graham's head, but it will be another 2 points to St Helens, which will wrap this match up.
Well, Kieran Cunningham, no doubt about it. Peacock right in the mush of Graham, and Cunningham just turned to Sean Long. Don't worry, take your time. We'll take the 2. He'll be happy over certain things. He won't be too impressed at the way that this guy came out of the line that allowed Donald to try, but he certainly made up for it with that beautiful chip over the top that gave Price the try that I think you'd have to say, Eddie, that has sealed this game. But the impressive thing about Saints has been the way that they have just controlled it. We're in your half. You've got to get the ball. Let's not rush. Control. Beautiful stuff.
Long will add the penalty to the total. It's 26-12, and St Helens have won this match now, and suddenly the race for the League Leaders' Shield is alive. A couple of weeks ago, Leeds were coasting 6 points clear. Now the gap is down to 2, and there's a long way to go yet. A significant night for St Helens, maybe.
Well, maybe the alarm bells were ringing when, remember, in that first half, when Hull came here, took an 18-point lead. OK, Leeds came back with some ferocious and skillful rugby league to win. Then they struggled down in London. And at certain times, they struggled here.
I'm reminded that not long ago, Sean Long, number 7 there in your picture for St Helens, just behind Paul Sculthorpe, he gave the League Leaders' Shield away. He said, well, no one is going to catch Leeds now. I think all of a sudden the race is on.
Things can turn pretty quickly in Super League.
Can't they ever? This is Cunningham. And you know that from bitter experience, don't you?
It's a crazy way of life.
Cunningham just gets to his feet eventually. like the attention from Bailey. There's a bit of a war of words going on between those two as the kick is picked up by Webb.
Well, fair credit to the South standers underneath us. They're singing out loud as though the score is reversed, but they know that it's a foregone conclusion now that Saints are within 2 points on that league table.
Have we seen a sudden little shift, do you think, over the past fortnight? Leeds suddenly vulnerable?
Well, I might just mention the fact that, remember, Hull, they went into an 18-point lead 3 weeks ago, and as I say, it was no fluke last week. Harlequins played exceptionally well. They controlled the forward battle, and I think we've seen it, especially in the second half, the composure from the red and whites. That must be pleasing for Daniel Anderson. But they have the advantage because we have not seen the best from Matt Diskin from Leeds today. He doesn't control it the same way, and it's a wonderful advantage, and Daniel Anderson knows it, and so do the St Helens fans. Kieran Cunningham, throw him on when you need him, calm it down. James Roby when you want a bit of explosion.
Might be the reason why, you know, Leeds have decided to bring the New South Wales skipper, Danny Badiris, over next year to work the two things out with Diskin, just a la Cunningham and Roby.
Of course.
Here's James Graham. He's playing out time now, but Graham looking to get the ball away.
That's a knock-on.
There's another one.
Yeah.
Play the first, I think, the referee.
I think they'll take their time. They know it's all over. They won't be rushing. They'll be going towards and just shaking hands, I feel. And they're shaking hands before the hooter goes.
That's it. St Helens are back within 2, and Daniel Anderson leads the applause. It's been a significant night, maybe, in the course of Super League 13. Fantastic performance from St Helens. They really did look in control of the match for long periods of this the second half particularly.